Welcome back to episode 6 of A Day in the Life of a Cowboy Fan who lives and works in the city of Philadelphia. Yes, Eagles country. Episode 6. And, it's game day. First game after the Christmas break. We play the Detroit Lions, and it's a must win, right? For multiple reasons. One, we lost 2 straight versus 2 good teams that we could very well see in the Super Bowl. We lost to the Bills and the Dolphins. So if we luck out enough to make it to the Super Bowl, those are the 2 teams we might see. We had a chance to beat the Dolphins. We lost game-winning field goal kick, whatever, and we got murdered by the Bills. So this is the last game of the gauntlet. We play the Detroit Lions, and it's a must-win game. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and get a confidence meter ranking of being a Cowboy fan. For you guys who are Cowboy fans, who's not Cowboy fans, go ahead and drop below in the comment section who's your favorite team and what's your confidence rating of your favorite team right now. For instance, it goes from 0 to 10. 10 is like, yo, where's the Super Bowl at? I'm buying tickets and my team's gonna be there. 0 is like, is it draft night yet? Who are we drafting? Right? So being a Cowboy fan, we lost 2 straight. Miami was a close game. We should have won. We could have won. We didn't. Not Miami. The Bills killed us. I'm happy that game is 2 weeks far removed. Right now, being a Cowboy fan, prior to the Lions game, man, I have to say my confidence ranking right now, 10 being getting Super Bowl tickets, is like a 7.2. I still feel confident in my team. We're still playing well. I know we dropped 2 straight, but some of the best teams in the NFL have lost 3 straight. So it's not nothing too big to overcome. For instance, the 49ers, they lost 3 straight. The Eagles, they lost 3 straight. The Bills are playing pretty well. They lost a lot of games in a row. The Chiefs are playing bad right now, but we all know in the postseason the Chiefs are dangerous. So even though we lost 2 straight, that's not the problem. The problem in my eyes is that we lost 2 straight on the road against over 500 teams. So it's more so not the losses, like who are we losing to and where are those games at. Everybody know, there's this thing going around that Cowboys, they only are dominant at home. And we are dominant at home. But on the road, we can't get the job done, especially if we're playing a good team. And I mean, we can't fight that statement. We lost 2 straight on the road against two really good teams. So it's rough. It's rough. I feel like we'll overcome it. We have the Detroit Lions, even though they're home, they're a very good team. They have a better record than us. I think they sit number 2 in the playoff race behind the 49ers. Eagles are 3. And we got to get the job done, which, it's gonna be weird, a weird feeling, right? So, a little story time. Like I said, day in the life of a Cowboy fan who lives in the Philadelphia Eagles area, right? So today, me and my wife, we walked around town, got some coffee, sat down, chilled a little bit, and I wore my Cowboys jacket. So if you guys know, if you are a team of a rival hometown, you get little comments here and there, stares here and there. So, we were walking back, and we almost made it a full trip, a full day out without any comments. And as we were walking back to the car, a guy looked at me, and he was like, "Go Dallas." So I'm like, "Oh, another brother, another Cowboy fan. You part of the brotherhood." Nah, he was Eagle fan. He said, "Go Dallas." This would be the first time I ever root for Dallas being an Eagles fan. Thinking to myself, like, why would you ever say that? Like, I'm never going to say go Eagles. I don't care. But, as I got in the car, I started thinking about it. Oh, they really do need us to win. Because if we win against Detroit, they are now the new number 2 in the playoff picture, which is a spot you want. If you can't get the number 1 spot, you want number 2, right? Number 1 gets the bye. Number 2, you get the weaker opponent at the 7th seed. You get the worst team in the playoff race. So Eagle fans are rooting for us, I guess. I guess the smart Eagle fans are rooting for us. They need a Detroit loss, and unfortunate for them, we have to be the team to beat them, to beat the Detroit Lions for them. So this is a quick little story time. It was just odd seeing an Eagle fan saying "Go Cowboys." It kind of caught me off guard. But anyway, so back to the confidence rankings. Confidence rating meter 7.2. Not overly confident. I'm not buying Super Bowl tickets, but I'm not waiting for draft day. We're there. We're there. We can increase that confidence if we win tonight. I think it's gonna be a tough game. I think it's gonna be a tough game. Um, I think we can get them, even though they have a better record than us. Just watching them play over the past couple of weeks, they haven't been too scary. Like, they're not a scary looking team like the 49ers, like the Ravens. Who else? Those are pretty much the two top teams in the NFL right now. And those are the two teams I feel like will make the Super Bowl, 49ers and Ravens. But I think we can get them for the obvious reason. We're home. For the next reason, I don't see us dropping 3 straight. Especially last week, we could have won that game. So I don't think being a Dallas Cowboy, you should have your head down right now because we're playing good football for the most part. We just got to get the job done on the road. But like I said, this game is home against the Lions. And just looking at what the Lions have done in the past several weeks, it's got them playing the Vikings. The Vikings, who are down to their third, fourth string quarterback. And, the Vikings could have won that game. They had a starting quarterback. I think the Lions would have lost. But they beat the Vikings 30-24. So I'm like, all right, are the Lions that good? They killed the Broncos 42-17. Is it a good win? By margin, yes. Against the opponent, no. Everybody know the Broncos been selling since week 2. They hit off a couple wins as of late, but they're still the Broncos. They're still not good. They just benched their starting quarterback. They lost to the Bears 28-13. They beat a Saints team. Saints, they're not that good. They beat the Saints by 5. They lost to the Packers by a touchdown. Then they beat the Bears again. Well, they lost the Bears the second time. The first time they played the Bears, they only won by 5. They beat the Chargers. We killed the Chargers. They only beat the Chargers by 3. They beat a Raiders team by 12. They lost to the Ravens 38-6. And that's been early on in the season. They were killing teams for the most part. So yes, by record, the Lions they look dangerous. But if you look at their wins and their losses, they have, some of their losses like, they lost to who? Just like us, we lost to the Cardinals. So there's not much room for us to talk. But their wins are by, a little bit of points. They're not really killing anybody they don't have any really strong wins. If we're looking at what's their strongest win of the season? Their strongest win on the season, they really don't have a really strong win. Their strongest win on the season is 21-20 when they beat the Chiefs on opening day. So I'm not necessarily nervous or scared about this game tonight. Because their biggest win against a really good opponent is the 1-point win against the Chiefs who didn't have Travis Kelce. Right? So keys to the game, we have to stop Jahmyr Gibbs. Plain and simple. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's really good too. But I think that if the Lions coaches are smart, they went back and looked at that Buffalo Bills game and they saw what James Cook did to us, what James Cook did to our linebackers. And I feel like, Jahmyr Gibbs is even just as good or maybe even better, even though he's a rookie, than James Cook. So I think, for one, they're going to run the ball. And then for 2, they're going to try to get Gibbs out in the open, running routes against our linebackers, and try to get him open. Just give him touches, make him do the rest, and he's very capable of that. So I think that when we're on defense, we have to keep Gibbs. We have to know where he's at every play. If we can do that, if St. Brown's going to get his. It is what it is, St. Brown's going to get his. I can see St. Brown going for 80 yards, maybe get a touchdown. But we have to control Gibbs at the running back position. If we can control Gibbs, and on the offense side of the ball, do not forget who CeeDee Lamb is. Keep giving CeeDee Lamb targets. It should be an easy victory. If Mike McCarthy can draw up plays for CeeDee, last week he started off hot. He had like 3 catches for 90 yards in the first quarter. And then Mike McCarthy forgot who he was. If we can just keep feeding CeeDee the ball and control Gibbs on the defense side of the ball, it should be a victory. No questions asked. Now, will we do that? Only time will tell. But just being a Cowboy fan overall right now, like I said, I'm 7.2. Going into this game tonight, I'm at like an 8.3. Factoring that we're home, maybe like an 8.6. We're -6 right now if you're a bet person. And I think we cover. It's going to depend on how we start out the game. Like I said, I'm just nervous about Gibbs going crazy like James Cook did. But we'll see. We're just looking at the playoff picture right now. The 49ers just lost. So this past week was, a lot of teams lost. The 49ers lost, we lost. Eagles, they played the Giants, so we know they were going to win. And the line slid past the Vikings. So if we're looking at the playoff picture in the NFC, right now, San Fran is 1. Philly is actually 2. I thought Detroit was 2. Philly is actually 2. Detroit is 3. Tampa Bay is 4. We're 5. Rams 6. Seahawks 7. So if the playoffs were to start today, San Fran would have to bye. Philly will play the Seahawks. They just lost to the Seahawks too. But I don't see Philly losing to the Seahawks twice. Detroit plays the Rams. I actually see an upset there. I see the Rams beating Detroit. And we play Tampa Bay. I see us squeezing by Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is not a bad team, right? They're hot. They got Mike Evans. Even though I'm not the biggest Baker Mayfield fan, he can get the job done on most nights. Other nights, he may look like, Johnny Manziel. So it depends what Baker steps into the arena. But just looking at it right now, I think I would rather play Tampa Bay rather than the Rams or Seahawks. So being a 5th seed in the first wild card spot right now isn't a bad look. Because I would very much rather play Tampa Bay than being a 2 seed and playing the Seahawks, even though we beat them, or being a 3 seed playing the Rams, even though we killed the Rams early in the season. I still think the better matchup for us will be Tampa Bay. Because the Rams and Seahawks, the Rams are getting hot. The Rams are getting hot, right? We killed them, but they're getting hot. The Seahawks, depends who's playing. Sometimes Geno plays, sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he looks really good. Like we played us that Sunday night, he was looking crazy. He looked awesome. Other nights, he looks like, yo, get him out the game. So the Seahawks, you never know. It depends who's playing. But all 3 wild card playoff spots, our opponents, it's tough. The 49ers, if they went out, they chilling. They got the bye, and then they're going to play the weakest opponent in the second round. And then it's looking at the AFC. We got the Baltimore 1, Miami 2. We let Miami punch their ticket to the playoffs, even though they were going to sooner or later, but they got it done against us, so they're officially in the playoffs. KC is 3, where they've been looking bad lately, man. Kansas City looking bad. Jack's 4. And then for the wild card, as of right now, you got Cleveland, who punched their ticket. You got Buffalo, and you got the Colts. So, I mean, as of right now, if I had to put a parlay down, which I already did, I got Baltimore winning the AFC, and I got the 49ers winning the NFC. But only time will tell, and hopefully we can do our thing. So, before we get out of here, this is going to be a quick podcast. Before we get out of here, I just want to talk about something I saw on Twitter. And it basically said Dak Prescott could earn a contract extension within the $55 million to $60 million a year. And I start thinking to myself, like, who's getting between 55 and 60? My quarterback? Well, we got some things to talk about. Because, yes, I'm a diehard Cowboy fan, but I keep it real. 55 to 60 for Dak is kind of crazy, right? So you can look at it multiple ways. Yes, Dak is having a great season. Hey, he could have won MVP, but we got dog walked by Miami. No, excuse me, we got dog walked by Buffalo, and his MVP chances went out the window. So if he would have won that game, 55 to 60, maybe he can squeeze out a 55 million per year, right? But we got dog walk. So now I'm like, nah, it's 55, 60. We got to win on the road For a quarterback to win $55 million and $60 million a year, we got to be able to win on the road. We got to be number one seed. We got to have a deep playoff run, which brings me to my second point. Yes, Dak is having a great season. Yes, he leads the NFL in touchdown to interception ratio, which is another segment I want to talk about, but we'll talk about that after this. So yes, Dak, he's going to throw for over 4,000 yards this year. He has the best touchdown to interception ratio. He's had 30 touchdowns thrown to only 7 interceptions thrown. We look good. We can have our third straight 12-win season, and we have a wide receiver one that's, in my eyes, the best wide receiver in the NFL, and he's throwing the ball. So you look at everything, like the stats, the team, the record. Besides losing 3 big games this year, quarterback, hey, he's in good shape. Maybe he is worth 55 to 60 million. Let me tell you this: if we don't get to, at the very least, a conference championship game, I don't care what he did. I don't care what he threw for. I don't care what award race he finished second and third in. Means nothing, right? That's not me saying that I don't want to re-sign him or extend his contract, but that means he's not worth that amount of money. We can give him a maybe 50 million, 52 million, 49 million, 48 million, whatever. But in my opinion, I don't think he's worth the richest contract in the NFL. Let's look at some names, right? Because when I saw that number, I'm like, yo, who leads the NFL in money per year? Number one is Joe Burrow. He's getting 55 million this year. Now, this year, Joe Burrow he's been hurt. And when he wasn't hurt, he wasn't looking good. So, to be honest with you, even though everybody know who Joe Burrow is, what he's capable of, he ain't do it this year. So, in my eyes, that contract, is he finessing now? Like, is he ever going to go back to the Joe we know? Or he got his money, so he's chilling? So, that contract is like, we know he did earn it, but now he's not earning it now. He has the money's in the pocket. He's chilling now. So, is he going to still be that quality of a quarterback to get 55 million? Would I take Joe Burrow over Dak? I would. So, if I had to choose between Dak and Joe Burrow to earn 55 million, I'm going Joe. Justin Herbert, finesse. Nah, I don't know. I'm not a Chargers fan. I know we beat the Chargers this year. Herbert didn't look too good. But I don't pay enough attention to Herbert and that Chargers squad to know if he is worth 52.5 million. What I do know about Justin Herbert is he throws for a lot of yards. The numbers, the stats are always there. But the Chargers are never in the playoffs, never has a deep playoff run. So that's for the Charger fans to debate. 52.5 million for a quarterback who can't lead a deep playoff run? Not much to say there. Who will I rather get 55 million to between Herbert and Dak? I'll get Dak that money before Herbert. Because Dak has at least got us to the second round playoffs. Lamar, 52 million. I will give Lamar 55 million before I give Dak 55 million. Jalen Hurts is at 51 million. This is a big thing with Eagle fans and Cowboy fans. Like, before this year, last year, Jalen Hurts went crazy. And in back of my mind, I'm thinking to myself, like, yo, he did it for 1 year. How is he getting the most, at the time, the best contract in NFL history when he did it for 1 year? 17, 18, 19 games, right? His rookie year, he started the last couple games. Didn't do much. Second year, Eagles weren't that good, if you remember. They squeezed out a playoff spot and lost the first round to the Bucks. Third year, which was last year, he went crazy. And they signed him to that crazy contract where he's earning 51 million per year. And I was just thinking to myself, like, yo, how did he get that 51 million off of one season? Right? At the time, Eagle fans might not admit it. Some Eagle fans were saying he's better than Patrick Mahomes. Some saying he's the best quarterback in NFL. And I'm thinking to myself, like, yo, some of y'all might want to pump y'all brakes. Because he could, not saying he could be like, a rapper who has one good mixtape and you never hear from him again. But he had that one good mixtape, earned a lot of money, and fell off. I'm not saying that's Jalen Hurts, but a lot of Eagle fans had too much dip on their chip before we got to the next season. And then this year, he's not having the same season as he did last year. Some people blame the OC, the coaching, but When it all boils down to he's just not having the same season as last year. Eagle fans were clowning us because Dak threw the most interceptions. Jalen Hurts is top 3 when it comes to all turnovers combined, fumbles and interceptions. Now turnovers, interceptions aren't a thing anymore. But it was just strange to me how, like I said, I live in this area, a Cowboy fan who lives in the Eagles area. I turn my radio on the way to work, and I hear Eagle fans saying, "Yo, we need a new quarterback. Scrap the coaching staff. Scrap the quarterback. Let's start over." And I'm like, "Yo, last year y'all was saying he's better than Mahomes." So it's just funny. But when it comes down to money, I might have flipped a coin toss who deserves $55 million between Hurts and Dak. And then I'm not going down the rest of this list because you have Russell Wilson, Kyler, Deshaun Watson, like a bunch of quarterbacks. I'm like, they got their money. Are they chilling now? But you never know. So the last thing I always want to talk about before we get out of here, because like I said, we play the Lions, big game, Saturday night game, and I get my emotions ready, right? So when did we stop talking about interceptions thrown? Because last year, this was a big thing. We kept saying, oh, Dak has thrown 14, 15 interceptions. He's not good. We kept hearing it every week after week after week, right? And this is with a bad wide receiver core, a hand injury. Nobody gave excuses. All they kept talking about was interceptions being thrown. You don't hear that no more. Now Dak is in the bottom tier of interceptions thrown, and you got some elite quarterbacks who were up there. Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts. I ain't got the list in front of me. You go to ESPN.com, go in stats and see who's throwing the most interceptions, and it's the top quarterbacks. And you got guys saying, well, throwing interceptions isn't necessarily a bad thing. The teams who won the Super Bowls as of late, teams who had deep playoff one, who won MVP as of late, has thrown a lot of interceptions. So technically, it's not really a bad thing. Are you serious? People are really getting paid to go on ESPN and talk like this, saying, hey, throwing a lot of interceptions isn't a bad thing. The same exact people were saying last year that Dak wasn't good because he threw a lot of interceptions. Comment below your thoughts, man. I just want to throw that out there, give you guys some game and see what you guys think about that. But that's wild. Like, either you're getting paid a lot and then in your contract it says you have to say 3 bad things about the Cowboys every day, or you're just a hater. But I don't know, man. Like I said, we got the Lions tonight. I think we'll win. I think we'll cover that -6 spread. And we'll move on to last week of the season, Washington, and let's get rolling in playoffs. But you're a Cowboy fan, you're an NFL fan, football fan, go subscribe to the podcast right now. Comment below your favorite team and your confidence in your team as of right now. But see you guys next time.